It was September 5th, 2000, and I was sitting in a local day surgery waiting room for my husband, Mark, who I thought was just having his left infected tonsil removed. I was actually daydreaming about what our empty nest years might look like, because 2 days before we had just dropped our older son off his freshman year of college, and that morning our younger son had just started his junior year of high school. But those daydreams got cut short that day. The moment the doctor walked out, he stood right in front of me. And this is exactly what and how he said this to me. Mark has stage 4 poorly differentiated squamous cell carcinoma of the left tonsil. He needs a major surgery at a comprehensive cancer center that will probably leave him severely deformed. He'll probably never eat or drink by mouth again, and he has less than a year to live. I could have told the story for your theme last month. WTF. I had no clue what this doctor just told me. So he repeated it a second time, but just as fast as he did the first time. But I now understood that my 43-year-old husband had stage 4 tonsil cancer. I didn't even know you could get cancer in your tonsil. And that's the moment I took on a role that I never signed up for. Mark's healthcare advocate. People say I'm a bit of an overachiever. I guess maybe I am, because the first thing I wanted to find out was who was the top head and neck surgeon in the country. You see, it didn't matter which comprehensive cancer center Mark went to. They were all out of network with our strict HMO. So I thought, why not pick the best? I'll deal with the insurance company later. So I ended up finding a Dr. Jayton Shaw at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York. Dr. Shaw performed a 9-hour surgery on Mark that involved splitting Mark's jaw right down the center. And then he opened it like a book. He removed the left tonsil with the large tumor in it. He put Mark's jaw back together again and held it in place with titanium screws. And then he removed 77 lymph nodes from the left side of Mark's neck. And guess what? Mark wasn't deformed. Turned out I'm more of an overachiever than I thought. I found the top head and neck surgeon in the world. But then I immediately needed to start fighting our insurance company to get them to cover this expensive surgery Mark just had out of network. I filed appeal after appeal, and I called that insurance company every single day for a whole year. And they finally realized that this pain in the ass wasn't going to go away. They ended up covering it. But at that same time, Mark's cancer now decided to spread to his bones. And his doctors said, Mark, close your jewelry store. You have less than 3 months. Mark said, I'm not closing my jewelry store. So the doctors decided to try radiation. But they said, Mark, this is just a short-term fix. 11 years later, guess what? Mark was still alive. But now he had had over 15 bone tumors radiated. But he was still running the jewelry store with my help. But I was starting to get tired. Because you see, keeping Mark alive with the best quality of life possible took all my time and energy. And I was working 7 hours a day at a law firm, so we'd have health insurance. And then I'd run over and help Mark at his jewelry store for a couple hours. And in between, I'd have to call the insurance company that changed every year to fight for more treatments for Mark. And I ordered all his medications for him and scheduled all his doctor appointments. One day, one of his doctors pulled me aside and said, Marianne, there isn't any question that you're an amazing wife and healthcare advocate for Mark, but you need to start doing something for yourself. Pick something, anything, 2 nights a week, just for you. I said, I don't have time for myself. He said, make time. You're burning out, and if you completely burn out, you're not going to be any good to Mark at all. So what did I do? I signed up for a Zumba class. I taught aerobic dance in the 80s, and I thought, okay, maybe this would be fun. Maybe I'll even be good at it. So Tuesday, Thursday, I'd come home from work, and I'd take off my work clothes. I'd put on my tights. It was winter, so I put sweatpants on top, and I'd go to class, take my sweatpants off, and I always stood at the same spot. One day, Mark had some new tumors pop up, and there was no way I was going to a Zumba class. Mark said, you need to go. Get ready, go have fun. I wasn't thinking what I was doing. I was always thinking about what I needed to do for Mark, so I just went through the motions. I got dressed. I went to class, and they were just about ready to start. So I quickly took off my sweatpants, and I went to my spot, which happened to be the front row center. You know why I stood there? Because I was good at it. Everyone told me so. And so I was really starting to feel good about myself for the first time in a really long time. Perhaps I shouldn't have been so cocky, because that night, everyone behind me started laughing. And the instructor turned around, she goes, "Marianne." And I looked down. I wasn't wearing any pants. And my shirt wasn't this long. I took my sweatpants off, and I had no clue I didn't put my tights on. And that was the time that I realized that I needed to start doing what the flight attendants tell us before each flight. Put your oxygen mask on, well, in this case, my pants first, so I could be a better healthcare advocate for Mark moving forward. And guess what? Mark ended up living 10 more years. Thank you.